On Hot Copy this morning, a Filipino-Swiss racer, Marlon Stockinger, is set to delight his Filipino fans as he graces this weekend's Manila Speed Show. Following his debut at the prestigious World Series earlier this month, he is revving up for his next big race in Europe. Dayan Castillejo reports.
Lotus Junior F1 driver Marlon Stockinger is back in town for the very special 3-day motorsports event this weekend, the Manila Speed Show. Coming in from a 20-hour flight from Europe after his last race in the World Series, the Filipino-Swiss driver is revved up for the historic roadshow that will bring to Filipinos view for the first time a Lotus F1 vehicle. Marlon, the newest driver of the Lotus F1 Junior team, is the star of the show. He will showcase his skill in maneuvering the vehicle. Some lucky fans will also get a chance to ride the two-seater F1.
Sobrang mabilis yung kotse, tapos yung brakes talaga, it was really powerful, and the engine, the sound, everything.
Also flying into Manila to witness the speed show are Marlon's former karting teammates from Switzerland. They describe what they feel has propelled Marlon to get this far in the motorsports world.
There's a lot of stress. You can keep calm and be concentrated. I think it's my opinion.
The Manila Speed Show will also gather different segments of Philippine motorsports at the Quirino Grandstand and the Mall of Asia. And the good news is, it's all open and free for the public to enjoy.
It's a first for all of us, and I'd really love to have everyone there and share the experience with me.
Stockinger is continuing his training regimen, nutrition and fitness program as he will head back to Europe after the Manila Speed Show for his next race in the World Series of Monte Carlo on May 25th. Dayan Castillejo, ABS-CBN News.
1 to 5.
All right, joining us in the studio, Lotus Junior Formula One driver Marlon Stockinger. Welcome to Hot Copy, Marlon.
Hello,
Good
Karen.
morning.
Thank you for having me.
My God, ang dami mong fans. Twitter's already busy with you. Okay, so you just flew in from Europe.
Yes,
Okay.
I arrived 2 nights ago, so I'm still jet lagged.
You're still jet lagged.
Yeah.
Now, on May 4 to 5, we will be witnessing some serious Formula One racing.
Yes.
Okay.
It's basically a demonstration. I will be driving a Formula One car around the streets of Manila. The event will start at 9 a.m., 9 to 12 in the Quirino Grandstands. And will also be from 1 to 5 p.m. in the MOA Arena section, as well as also on Sunday from 9 to 6 p.m.
9 to 6 p.m. as well.
Yeah.
All right. How did you get involved in race car driving?
It started with my father. He basically introduced me.
Your father's Swiss.
Yeah.
Your mom's Filipina.
Yes. And it started as a hobby with me and my dad. We used to go to Carmona in Cavite, and he started racing before me. And it was basically after he did a couple of years, he decided to take me to the racetrack. And from there, yeah, the rest is history. I tried the go-kart, and I told him I wanted to race.
Was your father a serious race car driver?
I think he likes to think he's a serious race car driver, but no, of course my dad is he was the inspiration for me to get started in motorsport, and for sure when we started he was beating me, and then eventually I got better, and then
What was the first car you drove?
First ever car?
Yeah.
I think it was the first official car I ever really properly drove was a 1.2 liter Polo Volkswagen.
Okay, how old were you?
I was 17 because that's when I just moved to Europe, and I had to learn how to drive a left-hand manual car or right-hand steered car.
But why did you move to Europe?
I moved to Europe to pursue my racing career.
Okay.
As we all know, Europe is still the prominent continent for motorsport, especially Formula One. A lot of the races are still held there, and most of the emerging talents come from there.
How does one pursue a serious racing career? I mean, you grew up here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I presume you were studying probably at one of the international schools. You were at British school?
Yes.
Okay. And then suddenly you say, you know what, I'm not going to be a doctor. I'm not going to take up a college course. I am going to take up racing. How does one take up racing? So you flew?
Basically, I just did all the ranks that you normally go through. So I started in go-karts, and then progressively worked my way up.
In Europe,
in Asia
in
first.
Asia.
So it basically all started here in Carmona and Cavite, then suddenly to the streets in Monaco, and we won a race there.
How do you have a trainer, a coach? How does that go?
Not by now, obviously, being part of the Lotus F1 junior team, you get a lot of physical attention. So they do a lot of training programs. You have a nutritional plan. You have all the basic support that even the F1 drivers are getting.
But when you went there when you were 17, you're now 22.
Yeah.
How did you train to become the driver you are today?
A lot of sacrifice.
Okay, you did have a coach.
No. I had some friends definitely who helped me along the way. Some very prominent people. My family, obviously, most important. But at the end of the day, I had to learn everything really by myself.
Yeah, you didn't enroll in anything?
No, it's
not like that.
The thing is also the Philippines. It's not that we've really gone this far in terms of reaching or racing in Europe. I think it's really the first time that, you know, in terms of formula racing that we're doing this. So there's no real blueprint, and I don't have anyone, let's say, in racing history to look up to in the Philippines and ask them, oh, how did you do it? I think, so for me, it's just the first, and I'm trying to figure it out, and hopefully the next generation of race drivers coming from the Philippines, I can share my experiences with them and make it easier.
Now, is it genuine talent, you think, being able to race, or is it something one can learn?
Definitely it's something you can learn. I mean, everyone at the end of the day has a talent to a certain point, but talent can only get you also to a certain point. I think the person who has less talent but works a lot harder will in the end be more successful.
Yeah, so you need talent for racing.
You need
so
talent.
It's in the driving.
But definitely, I mean, you have to be quick to a certain point.
Okay, there's quickness.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you put in the hard work, like the training, the gym, working with the people.
Why is the gym important? That's a good question. I mean, people wouldn't, I mean, you're in a car, you're driving. Why is working out in the gym important?
It's just simply because racing is very physical.
Okay.
At the end of the day, racing, it puts a stress on your body. We experience, especially even in a Formula 1 car, 5 to 6 G, which basically means your body is 5 to 6 times the weight at certain points in a corner or during braking or acceleration. So it's because of that you have to prepare your body for the races. And at the end of the day, we have races that, in my series, where it's 45 minutes. In Formula 1, they can be from an hour and a half to 2 hours. So you lose a lot of fluids, and you have to...
In the car, you lose a lot of fluids. Of course, you can't drink water inside the car.
You can.
I mean,
we have drinks bottles that keep us hydrated during the race. And
this is a stupid question. What if you want to pee in the middle of a race?
Well, then you make your cockpit the toilet.
Okay, go on. All right.
Yeah. So it's quite a unique, stressful environment, but you really have to prepare your body for that.
And you have a nutritionist.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm my own nutritionist. I cook my own food. I make sure I eat the right things.
You cook your own food?
Yeah.
So you know how to cook?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, a gorgeous guy who knows how to cook. What more can women ask for? Okay.
So yeah, it's just you just prepare your own meals. Obviously, during the race weekend, it's very important not to overeat and get your blood sugar low whilst you're digesting. And we have special, nutrient packs, special gels that keep you hydrated and that give you energy before the race.
All right. Now, I'm going to read something, then you can correct, because I'm not an expert in this.
Yeah.
In 2010, you became the first ever Filipino to win a Formula race in Europe, okay?
Yeah.
You won the 9th round of the Michelin Formula Renault UK 2010 that was held last October, but this was in 2010. You finished 8th overall in the series.
In the championship,
yeah. Explain, how big is the Michelin Formula Renault 2010?
It's definitely, in the junior categories at the time, it was one of the peak junior series. The likes of people like Lewis Hamilton raced there. So, you know, you earn your ranks in these junior series.
So you were driving clearly
in Formula Renault. Okay. And it was my second year in Europe, so it was quite nice to come 8th in the championship. I think there were almost 30 drivers in that championship from all over Europe, from continental Europe and mainly the UK. The championship was run there, and it was just a really nice feeling to be able to win, because it proved to myself, and I think everyone else who was working with me at the time, that it's possible to beat the best out there and also to compete with the Europeans. Just because I came from the Philippines, it doesn't mean that we're to a certain standard or a stereotype that they think that we're not as good. I mean, at the end of the day, we have a lot of racing talent here from the Philippines.
All right, so a race like this, the Michelin Formula Renault 2010, how many rounds? Can you describe it for people who are not familiar with Formula One racing? How many rounds is that race? How big is the track? How fast were you?
Basically, there's about, I think that year there were 10 races that went all over the UK. By now, last year when I raced in GP3, that was 8 races, and it followed all the Formula One European races.
Which means?
So you're basically the support event for Formula One.
Okay.
And now I'm in World Series, which is, I think, 9 rounds, and that's our own event. So I'm actually by now the main show of the races.
In Manila?
Here especially for the road show, but also in Europe.
In Europe too?
Yeah.
So when is this?
So
the World Series?
We've already had 2 races recently. Unfortunately, we didn't score any points simply because we've had a lot of technical problems, and of course it's my first year, so I'm still learning, but we will come away with points at some point of the season and hopefully more top 8 finishes.
Yeah.
But as of now, I think the next race will be in Monaco. So it's quite nice because I'll be returning to a track where I won in last year. So that's really good to have that feeling.
So you'd have to finish how many rounds, let's say in Monaco?
I think we do a 45-minute race, basically.
45 minutes.
For our race, we always base it on time and an additional lap. So we do 44 minutes of racing plus 1 lap. So I think around Monaco, that's maybe 30 laps.
So how do you determine the winner? The first one off?
Yeah,
the first one
who crosses the finish line is first.
Finishing 44 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Exactly.
see. So it's not a matter of how many rounds and you finish first. It's a matter of everybody has to finish the 44 minutes. So there's an endurance factor.
Definitely. I mean, the races are quite long.
Yeah, you have to stay on the track for 44 minutes.
Yeah.
And be the fastest.
At the end of the day, you don't have to be the fastest, but if you finish first, then obviously you win the race. So it's a long race, and especially in Monaco, to not make a mistake for those 44 minutes and to lead it or to win it, if ever, it's quite a big achievement.
Because if you're racing and it's pabilisan lang, una ka sa finish line, that's easier. But this is hard. You have to be on the track for 44 minutes.
Yeah, it compared to F1 even, it's still considered like a sprint race. So you still go all out. You still drive 110% for those 44 minutes. And we don't have pit stops in this race because it's just not as safe. But in F1, they even have pit stops in Monaco, and it can be quite hectic. And so there's more strategy to even play there. But for us, it's just an all-out sprint race. And you just have to go flat out
How
until the
fast
finish.
are you going in the car usually, or the fastest you've gone?
Well, that's quite interesting, is that we're actually not far off F1 pace in the series that I race in. In Barcelona, I think we do under 1 minute 30 seconds. We do 1 minute 29. And I think F1...
What do you mean by that?
The time it takes to complete the lap around Barcelona.
So how much, I mean,
so F1,
forgive me, but kilometers per hour, that would be...
I'd say, like, we did a race in Monza and we did 310 kilometers per hour.
Oh my God.
So that's one of the fastest tracks.
Legal.
And
310 kilometers per hour?
Definitely. We reached the 300 club very often in our World Series
So
cars.
you must be so frustrated with EDSA.
No, by now I'm used to it. You know, I grew up here, and I know what Philippine traffic is like. And I'm sanay na. So
How does 310 kilometers per hour in a car feel?
Feels really good.
Really?
No, but at the end of the day, it's I'm so used to it by now, and you don't realize it when you're going in a straight line. For sure, if it's the first time you ever reach that speed, yeah, you can. But and in the corners is really where you feel the speed, when you realize, like, wow, I'm going almost 300 and I'm going around the corner.
Now, is the secret the driver or is it the car?
Well, I'd say in definitely the series that we're in now, it's more on the driver, because everyone pretty much is supposed to have the same car material.
Okay.
In Formula One, it's a bit more different. You have manufacturers, you have different teams, you have different engine makes. So there's a bit more to play with. There are more variables. But at the end of the day, you need to have a good driver-team combination, and I think that's what makes a championship-winning team. And especially being in a team like Lotus, which is what I'm part of, you know, they're a very good team. They're at the front end of Formula One. I mean, Lotus at the moment is second in the Drivers' World Championship, and they're also second in the Constructors' World Championship.
All right.
Only behind to Red Bull. So we're even ahead of McLaren and Ferrari and Mercedes, so really big names. And
okay, now I'm curious, practical questions. You're 22 years old, you're not in college, you're known as a major Formula One race car driver. Take me through this. Do they pay you to become their driver?
No,
or you have to win to get paid?
Definitely, when you become when you have an official race seat, of course you get a salary.
Okay, you do get a salary
but
now?
at this point, obviously, I'm not the racing driver yet. I'm still on the, how do you say, I'm drafted in a way.
Okay.
But I'm not yet playing on the court,
okay,
as you would say. And what they're basically trying to do is mold me eventually
to become that,
to become the racing driver in the future. And that's very close. I mean, I've already tested in Paul Ricard with the F1 team. It was obviously to get used to the car for the demonstration that we will be doing this weekend. But at the same time, we actually did a proper test, and it was really interesting to see that we were quite quick. And you know, it's definitely possible that we can have a Filipino driver in Formula One.
Yeah,
it's
so
the closest it's
I'm
ever
curious
been.
if there's a young person watching out there right now. You don't earn any money from being a Lotus driver, from being in the Lotus team.
Well, I mean, you can have endorsements.
Yes,
or
which you do a lot.
I mean,
and you have a lot on your shirt.
This is the Formula One team's endorsers, and obviously I have to represent them. But at the end of the day, I have also some personal endorsements.
Yes, I've seen
also
it on TV.
at the end of the day, I mean, I have.
But do they give you allowance?
Yeah, I mean, you don't, like, for flights and stuff, you get taken care of, and traveling, hotels, things like this. I mean, at the end of the day, that also costs quite a bit of money, so it's quite nice not to have to pay for those type of things.
But when you win something, like for example, this race, which was a major race, the Formula Renault 2010, do you have a cash prize for that?
No, the only thing you earn is respect, in a way, and you get a nice trophy.
Okay.
But I'd say in racing, you don't really start earning until you get to GTs like Le Mans or Formula One, for example.
You call those professional race car drivers?
Yes, we are professional race car drivers. I mean, this is my job, this is my life. But at the same time, you have to earn your way through it. And you don't really start earning until you reach Formula One.
And your parents fully support you?
Yes, I mean, also, it's a big thanks to them that they've been with me throughout my career, because for sure without them, I wouldn't have made it this far. And I'd say at this point, obviously, getting closer to F1, it gets more and more expensive, and they can only support me for so long. So we're definitely looking for sponsors for, you know, to carry on my career. I mean, we've thankfully had Globe Tattoo come along. They're definitely a big partner of the event that's coming up, and a big reason why the event is happening. But that's just the beginning. Also, you know, this demonstration, this roadshow, it's really to give back to the Filipinos and to the people who have been supporting me, and to show the connection between a Filipino driver and Formula One, and the fact that we can actually get there. So hopefully people will become more aware, but at the same time, hopefully I can garner more support from the country, and, you know, get some corporate muscle behind us. And
what will it take for you to become an F1 driver? Is it age? Is it how many races? I mean, how do they measure that?
It's definitely, you need to be fast.
Okay.
And I think that's one thing they know for sure, is that I am fast. I'm able to win races. I'm able to finish on the podium. I'm able to win races like Monaco. And they wouldn't have me on their program if they knew that I wasn't, you know. Then they choose you. I mean, they get so many applicants, hundreds of them.
Really?
Emails, you know, asking if they can join. But at the end of the day, you can't approach them. They have to approach you. So I'm just really thankful that Lotus is giving me this opportunity to represent them as a young ambassador, as a junior driver, a junior Formula One driver. So you need a lot of things going for you at the same time. I think you need to be marketable, you need to be fast, and you need to talk with the media well. But they teach you all these things. And
do you
it's
need
like
to
a
be
school,
good looking?
No, not necessarily.
I'm kidding. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation with Lotus Junior Formula 1 driver Marlon Stockinger. Hot copy. We'll be right back. Tweet your questions. We'll read them. Welcome back to Hot Copy. With us is Lotus Junior Formula 1 driver Marlon Stockinger is with us. Magaling ka magtagalog?
Siyempre.
As in marunong na marunong?
Marunong talaga.
Oo, lumaki ka nagtatagalog.
Yeah, dito sa I just grew up actually in Sequia. So
Manila. Oo.
Tapos lahat yung mga pinsan ko nagtatagalog. So
kaya yung nanay mo taga anong probinsya?
Walang province, sa Parañaque lang.
Parañaque. All right, questions from viewers. Aaron wants to know, but you can answer in Tagalog or English.
Okay.
Have you raced with Raikkonen or Grosjean in practice? What have you learned from top Lotus drivers?
Well, at the moment, one day I'd love to really
But
race
iba
against
tone
them.
mo pag English, iba pag Tagalog. Nakakatawa.
But I've met them. They're always in the factory. So the great thing about being on the Lotus F1 Junior program is that you actually get to go to the F1 factory.
Yeah.
And you get the whole experience of where they make the cars. They even have a gym there. So many times when I'm going through the gym, I see Grosjean training, for example. And my trainer is actually the same trainer as Grosjean.
Really?
So the same guy who looks after my training programs, all my nutritional programs and stuff like this is actually the same guy who's at all the F1 races with Roman.
And Grosjean is the guy. Is he the man?
He's definitely like fast. I mean, he got third, I think, in Bahrain, and Kimi was second. So they're scoring a lot of points, and definitely two very good drivers.
Who is the first?
Right now, I think Raikkonen's ahead in points.
But
Raikkonen, he's a Formula 1 world champion, so he's definitely one of the more famous drivers. I think a lot of people know him. A lot of people are wondering whether he'll come, but yeah, at the moment, for sure, Eric Boulier, who's the team principal, who's my boss, actually, is coming to the event, so it should be good.
All right, Ben asks, until what age are you planning to race?
Hopefully for the rest of my life.
But do people race for the rest of their lives?
There's definitely a lot of series even after Formula 1 where you can race. There's, for example, Le Mans, where
are people like 50 there, 60?
Yeah, I mean,
really?
People really go into their late 50s almost into racing. I mean, of course, maybe there would be something on the other end of motorsport. You know, I love it to death.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's always nice to experience new things in life as well. But
okay.
We'll see.
All right, ito tinatanong dito, no? Babasahin ko na, magtagalog ka na dito. Pwede ba daw, ito, Kyle, are you planning to join showbiz? Mag-showbiz ka ba?
Siyempre naman gusto mag-focus lang para sa karera ko na yun. Kasi na yun is the only time that I can, you know, do it. So maybe in the future, we'll see. And I have a lot of respect for the people who do that type of thing. I mean, I get a glimpse of what it's like sometimes with the media work we do.
But why won't you do showbiz?
Well, I think because racing at the end of the day is show business, you know. I mean, you have all the artistas who go to all the racetracks.
And then, but the focus, no?
Yeah, and
you have to be really focused.
It's time consuming. I think a lot of people think I have a lot of downtime, but that's not really true, you know. Sure, we only have a race maybe every 2 weeks, every other month, but you have to do all the training, you have to talk with your team.
So what's your schedule like? Halimbawa, when you wake up in the morning and you're training?
I'm normally training or being on a plane. I travel a lot to either the UK to visit my F1 team, or I'm in Prague in the Czech Republic to visit my World Series team. So
and pag ganun, you practice?
And yeah, we do like simulator work, or we prepare, we do driver debriefs, engineering work, just to discuss what happened the previous race weekend and to prepare for the next one.
And Lotus is handling all your schedules? All your flights, everything.
Yeah, I mean they look after me in a way, and that's really the nice thing about this team is that they really take you under their wing and they make you like part of their family.
Okay, Mabel asks, how are you preparing for the Lotus F1 roadshow?
Well, I'm
Pero
trying.
Pero sisiw na yan sa'yo. Dami naman na panalunan.
I'm just trying to enjoy it. You know, it's not very often that you get this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, I'm so honored to have this responsibility and to be able to drive my F1 car. around the streets of Manila. You know, it's just so great, and I just can't wait to see how many people actually turn up. And I just urge you guys to see it because it's really the first time, and it's really free to the public. You know, anyone can come. You don't need to buy a ticket. You don't need to pay any fee or anything. You can just literally show up and enjoy the show. That's all.
All right. How do you feel? I'm curious. I mean, on Twitter, I told them to tweet questions, and a bulk of the comments are, "He's so hot. He's so good looking." I mean, do women harass you?
No, I wish I was being harassed, but no. Normally it's it's okay.
Do you have a girlfriend?
The moment, yeah, I'm seeing someone.
Okay, how serious?
Well, we're okay, definitely.
Nax, ano nangyari kay Casey Concepcion? You declared that you had a crush on her.
Well, I mean, obviously, people always ask me, and obviously these people, like artistas, are very pretty. I mean, that's why you see them on the billboards and
But
things
you
like
never
this.
Texted Casey?
No.
Never. It's just admiration.
Yeah, of course. It's a pretty face you see, and she was the most recognizable, I guess, and that's why
Okay.
Yeah.
People Casareo is asking, are you doing homeschooling?
At the moment, no. Obviously, I'd love to pursue my studies. And I promised my parents if this doesn't work out, and hopefully it does, that I go back to school and finish my studies.
Okay. Sabi ni Silo, pwede bang pasakay sa Lotus F1 car niya? Is that allowed?
Oh, syempre naman may dalawang seater tayo na Lotus F1 car. We brought it here actually. So we're gonna do joyrides for selected guests, VIP, and also to the fans who come. So that's one of the perks of actually coming to the roadshow, is that you can get a chance to sit in a two-seater Formula 1 car. You also get, there will be merchandising on site as well.
Pero gaano kabilis? How fast is the car gonna go? I don't think it's gonna hit 310 kilometers per hour.
Well, you never know. If the straight's long enough, I'd love to go 300.
Do you think we can do an F1 in the Philippines like in Singapore? Because they do have in Singapore.
Like a race?
They have a race. Don't they have it?
Definitely. I mean, of course, Asia's becoming more prominent in the Formula 1 scene. You're starting to see races like in Singapore, India. They've always had it in Japan.
Okay.
But there's no reason why the Philippines can hold its own F1 event.
All right. Tanong ni Lanze Babe, will you or Team Lotus be joining Singapore F1 Grand Prix in September?
I think it's very likely that I'll be there. They also have a support race with GP2 last year, so hopefully I can also participate. And I was also there last year with Lotus, actually.
You raced?
No, I wasn't racing. I was just there, you know,
to support.
To support and to show sponsors, some media around. And
okay. Oliver Ambaan is asking, is Marlon racing with the same Grand Prix like Fernando Alonso of Ferrari?
Yes, actually this month I will be racing in Monaco, so it will be the same event that Fernando will be in. And it's quite funny you asked that because Fernando actually used to race for the team I'm with now. So he used to race for Lotus, but Lotus was formerly known as Renault, and those were the two world championships and the only one he's won so far. And actually the roadshow crew, the people working on my Lotus F1 car for this weekend, are the same people who were with Alonso when he won the World Championship.
Okay. Interesting questions from Rod Magaru. Number 1, are you a registered voter?
Yeah, I know. I just
registered?
realized that when I came back that it was the elections, but I should be. So I think I'll be
But
voting.
you did register?
No, because I've been away from the country for the last
so you're
2 or
not
3
a
months.
registered voter?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think you can vote. You have to be registered. Wait, are you interested in politics considering your popularity?
No, at the moment, no. Racing politics, yes, but politics in general, not really.
Okay, third question ni Rod Magaru. Do you watch Pinoy films?
I've seen some, but like I haven't really watched. No.
None?
No.
Okay, all right. Boy Abunda asked you...
Actually, the only films I've seen is the one of Mateo. So.
Nax. Because you're good friends.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen Mats's films.
Okay, Nax, ang dami dito. When will there be a vacant seat for Marlon? Because Grosjean and Raikkonen are doing good so far.
For sure, there are vacant seats. Maybe not in my own team, for example. It's actually known that drivers are loaned to other teams to learn before they actually step up. So there are many opportunities. But at the end of the day, I have to stay loyal to Lotus for giving me an opportunity.
Yes, of course. All right, invite everyone. I'll take my sons.
Yeah, definitely. I invite everyone, please, to come this weekend, May 4 and 5. The show will kick off at 9 a.m. in the Carino Grandstands from 9 to 12, and we will change premises to the MOA grounds from 1 to 5 p.m. on Saturday, May 4, and also all day in MOA from 9 to 6 p.m. And the event is free, so I invite all the public, everyone to come, please watch our Manila Speed Show with the Lotus F1 team and with a Pinoy driver in a Formula 1 car on the streets of Manila.
All right. Exciting. Thank you so
Karen.
much, Marlon,
Thank
for
you for
coming to
having
the
me.
show.